Well, folks, welcome to the review. And of course, you too, Vern, my trusty colleague. And who else have we got here? We've got the hair of the dog, Sparky. Oh, Sparky looks like he started the review a little bit early. Not such a patient fella, are ya? Well, we're gonna head to Perth, Scotland, which was an old whiskey merchant center, whiskey producing area. And it has seen tougher times, but this company, Morrison Mackay, which is actually just renamed to Morrison Distillers, now got a distillery plus a bottling plant plus their headquarters. Located just south of Perth, actually, in a little village called Aberargie. And Aberargie also is the name of the distillery there. So we can just kind of blow it up here and you'll see that there is their distillery, bottling plant, and of course it's adjacent to their head office. And this is an old family. I mean, it goes back to the Isle of Mull when the Bartholomew family was making Columbia Cream, which is the answer to Bailey's. And of course, Stanley P. Morrison was the owner of Bowmore, Glen Garioch and Auchentoshan. And the directors were his sons, and they formed Morrison Mackay, and now, of course, with the name change, Morrison, it's Morrison Mackay, but it's the Aberargie Distillery, and of course, Morrison Whiskey Distilleries. So they're trying to create jobs in the Perth area, and they are doing a lot of stuff environmentally friendly with their whiskey production. So let's look forward to see where this company ends up. Maybe we'll be sampling some of their whiskey in the near future. It is young right now. It cannot be called Scotch yet, but it'll be something to sample in the future. Hello, folks. Welcome to Noel's World of Whiskey. Got a bit of a treat tonight. This is a Carn Mor, Old Perth, 23 years old. It's a special bottling. It's not the Old Perth 23 that is 45%, it's 55%. So this was a very limited bottling. I believe BCL, the BC liquor stores had this specially bottled for them, and there was a limited number of bottles. So it's one of those bottles. I thought I'm going to test it. I'm going to try it. If it's good, I might get myself another while they're available, because these whiskeys are going to really climb in price, and this was on special. So I will list the price. So that you can, if there is any of this available, if the review goes right, you have that opportunity to go out and pick it up, and I will mention where I had purchased it. So, something I'm going to mention about this wooden case, very classy case. This is Morrison Mackay, which is now Morrison Group. They've actually got their own distilleries started. And I'm trying to think of the name. It's a new distillery. But anyways, we'll have that all on the video. The bottlings they've done through the years, I've had a few of them, and of course they're a well-known company that was involved, of course, with Bowmore and some of the bottlings they've done have been, I think, a Kalila. Oh my golly, they've done numerous bottlings through the years and that, but I haven't really partaken in, other than a Kalila, I haven't really partaken in their bottling. So this is going to be something new and different, so let's give it a shot. So a little tricky, it's a wooden box, so when you're pulling this out, there's a little tab that pulls up. Otherwise, you'll end up breaking this thing, you know. So it took me a while to figure it out. No, there was no instructions with it. So, I mean, I looked all over, and actually, I looked at the bottom, I looked everywhere, and there's no instructions. It doesn't say pull the tab down. Pretty classy. Anyways, you can see the box, and it is a wooden box. And black, gold, and... again, we're going to pull this up here, and it should come out, and there, I got it out. And now we just have to slip that guy out. There we are, and that's the first it's been out. I have not touched this stuff. So, again, nice little presentation. And that's Morrison and Mackay. I think they just call themselves Morrison today. And we will unleash this monster with a little bit of delicacy. And there we are, a 23-year-old. I want to call this 24 because I read a review. The only other 55 was the 24-year-old in the Old Perth, and it's probably a more recent bottling. But anyways, it even says on here, this was blended in Scotland by Morrison Mackay, and basically what this is Edrington's group whiskey. So we know there's a lot of Macallans in it. I believe there is Highland Park. Oh my golly, what else do they? What else has Edrington got here? Glenrothes. Glenturret, Camden, Boonahabban. So it could be any one of those, but the information that I got was mostly Macallans, then some Highland Park, and Glenrothes. So, and it could be, it's dominant is Macallans from what I've read, but we'll find out in the review here. So, okay. We'll get started on it here. "23 years ago, what were you doing 23 years ago?" And then again, when it was bottled, that probably had a few more years there. That when that was put in the cask, it was probably more like 28 years ago, because I think it's been in the bottle for some time there. So. Anyways, correct me on that. What I believe the 24 is from last year, the year before, and then this could be 4 years old, yeah. So anyways, let's put the knife away, and let's give it the nose. Yeah, and I just did a couple of Macallans, I think I did 3 Macallans. There's Macallans in here for sure. And you know, they have definitely you know, Macallans are known for their sherry, and same with Highland Park, Glenrothes. So basically, we're getting a lot of sweet stuff here. I'm sort of thinking, stewed plums, prunes, maybe a little bit of tropical fruit punch. So we're really getting the sweet notes here with some musky, sort of, I'd say even herbal mix here. Dusty, leather, And then the tropical fruit, or semi-tropical fruit. And then back to the musty tobacco again. Cloves in the background, not dominating, in the background. Same with the leather, in the background. But I've never used fruit roll-ups. How does that one sound? I like to throw the Macintosh toffee in here because it's definitely there. But the fruit, maybe apricots, no apples. I like papaya. I'm gonna say it's not a ripe papaya though. And now a little more of the tropical fruit punch with the musty tobacco in the background. Yeah. So, waiting for the wood. It's 23 years old. Waiting for the wood. The leathery notes probably. That might contribute a bit to the wood. But the sherry is there. Anyways, I think it's time for the palate. Solange. %. I read a few reviews on this and I couldn't find the 55, so, but I saw a lot of the 45s. And this is definitely hanging on my tongue, so some were commenting that the 45 wasn't. It was a medium in finish, and some said it wasn't it wasn't a real mouth coating, but this is this is a mouth coating. It's coating. It's got the oils. It's a thick Macallan Highland Park Glenrothes. I'm not heavy into the tamdu, so I don't know how much tamdu was thrown in here, but definitely those other three, but mostly dominating, I'd say the Macallan, maybe more Highland Park than Glenrothes. It's nice. It's a nice dram. Still waiting for the wood. Now I've got it. I've got the wood. Sometimes I have to take 2 quick shots to get the wood. I wasn't getting it at first, but I'm getting it. I'm getting the oak. Yeah. Pretty amazing though, eh? It's so smooth. Less oaky than the 18 Renaissance, that's for sure. And it's a 23, so. Just the way it was finished. So with Morrison Mackay, they do have a history of these kind of presentations. There's been a few recently. These are really going to get hard. They're going to be hard to get in the future. So, I think if the review goes right, I'm certainly looking at something like this as a smart investment in the future, because I'm looking at Macallans and where it's going, and I haven't had an 18 for a while because I just can't. I just can't see myself spending that kind of money. I have a couple of 15s I've done, and then of course the sherry cask 12 and the double oak 12 and that. But so there's Macallans in this. And the Highland Park, I've got 3 Highland Parks, and I've got the 12, the 16, and the 18. And there I really know my Highland Parks, so It's hard to hide that one. And Glenrothes, I'm not a real fan of Glenrothes, but I will drink it. But, so, you know, I don't drink as much of it. So I'm going to say the Glenrothes is a little on the weaker side in here. But I would have expected that because I always find that Macallans is always leaves, you know, it leaves an impression. So does Highland Park. And, you know, I like both those whiskeys, so interesting. So, decent coating on your mouth, 55.1%, I think. Let me just read this. 55.1%. I think it's time for the finish. To the finish. Well, right off the bat, wood. So the wood sort of was later, and now I'm getting more wood, and I think it's just because it's 55, and I got my tongue coated right now. I would have to reset my tongue here, so a glass of water or something to go into it nice and clean. But I wanted to kind of taste the wood anyway, so I knew it's a 23-year-old whiskey. There's got to be some wood. Wee bit of malt on the finish there. I'm getting a little bit of malt, and sort of a repeat of the stewed fruit there at the beginning, but it's kind of fading again where we're getting the smoke again, and just light smoke, leather, and maybe a bit of heather. And that would be the floral notes, eh? But the medium, it's a medium finish for sure, medium to long finish, and it's not short medium, it's a medium to long, and you do get the oils coating your tongue. So it's not as light. Obviously, it's not as light as the 45, because the reviews in the 45 certainly didn't give you those notes. So. But I'm probably going to buy another bottle. So let's do some. This is 55. Let's see what the water does. So, very small amount of water here because we're kind of low on the whiskey there. There we are. That's perfect. So. Oh yeah, does it ever open it up? Ooh, nice. So, just a small few drops of water, and I can get the sherry. Honey, fruitcake. Now I'm getting the Macallans, the orange oil. Maybe we didn't have apples before, but we might have the candy apples here. And tropical fruit. Boy, it's rich. Demerara, sugar, peanut brittle. Wow. And we got some toasted nuts. Yeah. Very, very little smoke, but there is some. There's, identify it. There's some smoke there. So, but the oak or the pencil shavings, they're oak. They're kind of light, eh? I mean, that is the oak. Let's go for the palate. Oh wow. Now I'm getting the bourbon and the oak. It's a bit of a dusty drink. Sweet, but dusty. It's really smoothed out the wood. The wood's there, I'm getting the wood, but it's just a couple drops of water. Nice. Yeah, I mean, I could keep going on and on. I mean, this is a good drink. It's a good drink. What I'm going to say is, this is an 87, 88 is what it is. It's an 88. This is an 88. I'm probably going to buy another bottle. I think I will list where you can pick these up. It's under $200 right now on special. I've had some whiskeys not that long ago that are over $400. This can play in that field. It's half the price. So I'm kind of fortunate that I've done some 27 to 32 recently. And it's kind of nice because I can sort of compare notes, and I'm not going into territory that I haven't been before, so I have the opportunity here to kind of be a little more, I think, sincere with you as to how I feel about the whiskey as compared to what else I've reviewed, or what else I've really gone into a deep focus on, because I want to know what I want to spend my money on. We all do. We don't want to be wasting a few $100s on a whiskey. Let's go and buy a $60 or $70 whiskey. I mean, an Aberargie or something. If that's what we're looking for, the sweet notes and just but this has got a lot more than just the sweet notes. I mean, I could have gone on and on there about the musty tobacco and the leather notes and heather and the floral notes. I mean, I didn't even I was getting them, and I just started realizing, well, maybe let's talk about them. But a review can be only so long, and I'm trying to condense these. I get carried away. I could keep going on and on and on, but it's a good whiskey. It's a fun whiskey to drink. I'm looking forward to serving this to my family, my friends. It's well worth the money. It's an 88. At under $200, you betcha it's an 88. So go out and buy a bottle. So I will list that in the review. And I've read a lot of other reviews. The 45s, don't mix this up with the 45. This is the 55.1%. So whatever the 45s are, that's great. They've done that review. I am not reviewing those whiskeys. I'm reviewing the 23-year-old 55.1, and they have a 24-year-old 55.1 as well. So I might be one of the few reviews you're going to find on this whiskey. So with a little bit of trust and faith, and hopefully that your palate would enjoy it as much as my palate's enjoying it, I'm going to look at it as a smart investment, because it's going up ridiculously in price, the older whiskeys and that. So anyways, thanks for showing up, and I'm going to ask you to drink wisely and intelligently, and until the next time, so much.